Hello, everybody. Welcome to my channel, and thank you for joining. Now, in today's episode, we're going to talk about Shrek. Okay, we're going to find out if he's the man that we can put in that flex position. Now, a couple of years ago, I owned Shrek. Okay, I started him. Then I sacked him. Okay, he scored a 20 off memory. I couldn't believe it. Okay, which ruckman in the history ever scores a 20 for a full game? I couldn't come it down. Just come it down. Now on Twitter, there's a picture circulating, doing the rounds. Okay, and it's not photoshopped. Okay, this has become skinny cam. Okay, it's actually a real photo, and Shrek. Something's happened to him. Okay, look at him. Shrek is no longer Shrek. We have to give him a new nickname. I don't know what to give him yet. Okay, but I'm still gonna call him Shrek. Okay, so Shrek has thinned right down. Has thinned down. He looks healthy. He looks fit. So could this be the year of Shrek? Could he go to the next level? Could he go to the heights that we've never seen before? Well, he had some amazing games. Let's go through them. Now, Shrek, he has been in the system for a while. As you can see, it took him 4 years, averaging 70s, and then he just peaked at 118. He went nuts. Let's check out 2021. I mean, if you could do it then, you could do it now. Look at these scores of Shrek in 2021. Scores of 90, 90, 129. He's just building up. Then halfway mark. And then he can just go bang, 193, 183, 156. This is against weaker opponents. Now, we're happy to cop the 90s, the 112s, the 83s. We're happy with these scores. Because if he's going to average us a 120, and he virtually cost us peanuts. What does he cost us these days? Okay, let's have a look. Shrek's value... okay, is 529k. That is so cheap. It's actually cheaper than the Conning. Okay, because last year he injury riddled. Okay, but he looks fit now. So if we can get Shrek to where is it? Let's go back here. I've lost where I was at. Okay, back over here. Now, if we can get this man to average, let's say even 115, I'm happy with that because in your team. Not many ruckmen can go at 150. Let's have a look at the ruckman last year, okay? Averages of the ruckman. The third best ruckman averaged 112. 2024 average. Sherry averaged 119. So we're happy with a 115. We're even happy for 110. But 115, we're very happy. So, can Shrek do it? Let's find out. Now, we go to DFS Australia and our usual source of information. Okay, now we go to the Ruck contests and we're going to type in 30. Now, I'm going to go to 2021. Now, this was the year. Let's get back over here. Now, I've got too many windows. I've got to close some of these windows. Okay, let me close these things here. Okay, now, in 2021, that was the year he averaged 118. All right? This is important, what I'm going to show you now, okay? Everything I show you is important. Just come it down. Now, in 2021, Shrek, with an average of 118, how much time in the ruck did he spend? Okay, well, he started pretty slow, okay? He started off injured. Then he came on. Now, ruck time, you're looking at 76, 70, 76, 74, 80s here, 72, a couple of 50s. He shared it with Lloyd Meek at the time. So he's got Lloyd Meek there and Rory Lobb. Okay, he's got two of them there, and now he's got Jackson. So even with, he's always shared the ruck. He's always been the number one ruck, but he's always shared it, okay? Now, in 2022, same thing, okay? 70s, 80s, 70s, and that's with Rory Lobb as a second ruck now, and then Meek played a few games, but not many, okay? But still, you can see he's got a lot of the ruck duties, okay? Now, in 2023, all right, this is when Luke Jackson came into the team. Same thing, 70. He had a game where he had 58%, but most of them were 70s and 80s. Even you can see here, yellow, 80, 82, 85. That's with Jackson in the team, all right? 70, 78. Then he got injured. That's when Jackson had more time in the ruck. Then when he comes back to him again. So he's the main ruck, unless he gets injured. Okay, even last year. All right, let's have a look at last year. And last year, he was pretty injured. Okay, so last year Jackson started. Then Darcy came back from injury, so he had 55%. Then the second game back is fully recovered from his injury, sort of 78%. So you can see time on ground as a ruckman is not an issue. Okay, even when he came back from injury, you can see now he's sort of spending less time, but then he goes deeper, but then goes injured again. Massive injury risk is Sean Darcy. Okay, so hence the fitness now. So we're going to see what happens. The problem with ruckman is they all get injured. Okay, it's a very volatile position, and as you saw with the conning, Gawn's been injured, Nank's always injured. Tim English is very durable, but a lot of the ruckmen get injured. Okay, it's just the durability problems. Now let's continue. Now what I'm looking for now is his hitouts. Okay, as you can see here, 38, 48, 34. So he has a lot of hitouts. Most of these hitouts usually go to advantage. And he's probably one of the rare ones that you can see hitouts to advantage, but there's no stat here on hitouts to advantage, so I can't tell you the exact stats. However, a hitout to advantage is 4 points in Supercoach. Now, against weaker opposition, Ruck 80%. So this is last year. Last year, it's a tough year to go by. I mean, even against West Coast here, he had a weaker opponent. 48 hitouts. Well, he scored 124. Okay, it wasn't too bad. But in his younger, well, I wouldn't say he's old, but in 28, 2021, that score would have been about 150, 160. So the scoring has dropped off. You see a 147 here. That's again 39 hitouts, and he's had 9 kicks, 11 handballs. Now, the disposals are important as well, okay? Here, you see here, he's had 4 kicks and 8 handballs, 48 hitouts, but only 12 touches. Let's go back to 2021, right, when he's having these big runs, all right? He's getting 25 touches, 20 touches, 18 touches, 19 touches. He's getting more touches because back then he was actually more fitter. And he's a lot more. He's in the best shape he's ever been. I'm expecting these kicks and handballs to increase. I'm expecting the marks to increase. You can see here marks 8, 9, and when we come back to here, it's only 2, 2, 3, 1, 0. Because when you're Shrek and you're a little bit on the big heavier side, okay, it's hard to get to these marking contests. But when you're a fit version of Shrek, you can get to these contests, okay? So I'm expecting virtually marking, kicking, handballing, all to increase. And I'm also expecting time on ground to increase. So probably going to be 80% easily now. And he won't be tired. He's fit. So I've never seen Shrek like this before. So it's going to be interesting to watch in the preseason how he goes. And if he's injury-free, he could end up being R1 at the end of the year. Now, going back to 2021 and even last year, we saw before in 2021 he had Meek, he had Lob, okay, he had different he had a different tag team partnership. However, even with Jackson in the team, it didn't affect his percentage in the ruck. It was still 80% because Sean Darcy is a ruckman. He's not a forward, whereas Jackson is more or less a forward that can ruck, okay, whereas Darcy is a ruck that can't play forward. So they're going to use Darcy in the ruck. Their midfield have got jets in there, okay? They've got pretty much one of the strongest midfields you can have. So I can see this 1-1-8 happening again, okay, and if not better. And just imagine having a vice captain playing against a weaker opponent and scoring a 193, and no one's got him, okay? Because he'll probably be a pod, because there are so many ruckmen to choose from, okay? Now, let's have a look at the ruck combinations you could have now. Now, if teams want to play with only 2 rucks, all right, there's Gorn, all right, there's Sherry. Well, now Sherry's going to be popular, okay? So you got Sherry, Gorn, you have Marshall, okay, but I'd stay clear this year of Marshall, okay? You got the Nank, you got English, you got Wits. Some people are talking about Darcy Cameron. You got Lloyd Meek, and you got Tom DeConning, okay? Now, as you can see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Darcy was the 11th best ruckman last year. Okay, that's pretty bad. I'm expecting him to get to the top this year at number 1. So I've got him in my team, only based on one thing, and that's that one picture. Okay, so my whole Supercoach projection reason I've got Darcy is because of his picture, nothing else. Okay, so it's a fitter looking Darcy, and it making me very happy to see him like this. So we have to see how he plays in the pre-season, but I've got no doubts that he's capable of going at 120 to 130, no problems. So it's a matter of does he offer you the value? Well, you look at the price. It's 529k. For 529k, what kind of players can you get that can go 130? Let's have a look. Well, at 530k, well, Jai Newcomb, he could probably go about if he has a big year, he can go 120. Okay, so you got Jai Newcomb at 530. Connor Rosie, I'm not sure if he can go for 130. Maybe a 110 probably his best every year. So maybe a 100 to 110. I don't think McCluggage can go 130 or 120. Dale probably not. Okay, Dylan Moore probably definitely not. Okay, he can have big games, but he won't go 1. His average last year was 97. Stewart maybe can. Okay, Stewart's got the pedigree there. Okay, but there isn't many players at 530k that have the scoring capacity that Sean Darcy has. So value is massive with Sean Darcy. It is a big risk because of the injury concern, but I would have no hesitation in saying that there is no risk with Jackson because Jackson will play forward. You see, we've seen the stats. 80% ruck time, Darcy will get it. Now, how many players in the league can score a 180 and a 190 and a 150 back to back to back? There's not many, okay? The Bont, okay, Dacos, Gorn, but there aren't many, okay? That's a huge scoring. That's massive ceiling, and that's what you pay. That's why we're getting him for the ceiling because we want these big scores for the vice captain. We want to nail him as a vice captain. So he's offering you that ceiling, and in this particular year, besides the first game, he wasn't injured. He was only injured probably the last game, and that's about it. His injury started in 2022 when the McDonald's restaurant opened up right next to him. Okay, and the KFC got excited. Then there was a pizza shop. It was whose pizza was it? It was a Nicholas Pizza shop right next to him. So he got carried away. But even there, you can see that the ceiling 178. 134. The ceiling is massive. He may have the odd low score, okay, but it's covered by that ceiling. Now, in 2023, this is the year I owned him, okay, and the first game he scored a 96. Then he scored a 41, and I sacked him. After the 41, I couldn't handle. I couldn't take it no more. And the minute I sacked him, this is what happened. Scored a 132, 125, 136, 137. Well, then he went off the rails, and then 151. Then he went right off the rails, but. It's a type of player, if you don't have him and your opponents have him, he's going to be painful to watch. It's a nightmare. I mean, imagine your opponents having him and they got a 190 vice captain score. You're going to go nuts, okay? You got to turn off the TV. Just calm it down. We're going to go to our final verdict now, okay? Because there's not much to talk about Shrek because we pretty much know his history. He's either injured and he doesn't play or he plays. It's as simple as that because we know he can score. So there's not much to say about Shrek, okay, except he's looking very good right now. So my final verdict for Shrek is the value, and it's a yes, okay? I'm expecting him to go at about 120, okay? Now, if you go at 120, players that went at 120 last year was a player like Sherry, okay? Now, when you go to Sherry's price, it's 645k. You're paying 530k for Darcy. You're paying 110k cheaper, 116k cheaper for Darcy. So you're getting a massive discount. So I would say, let's get back over here, notepad. Cash wise, you're saving 110k, okay, because you're getting him on the black market. Okay, this is another one from the black market. Okay, when you buy him wholesale, you get him cheap. So if we all buy him together, we're getting a good price. So at 530k, I'd say yes. You're saving 110k. That's massive. So take it. Keeper, yes. Okay. Decision, yes. Must have. Now here's the question: must have. I would say no, bordering on yes if he goes at 120. Okay, so it's sort of bordering from a no because there is a risk. Okay, it comes with a risk. Okay, and that's his injuries. But has he overcome these injuries? We're going to find out. But it's looking very good. So notes here: high risk. Probably scaled down now to a low risk, okay? Maybe not as high as it was last year. So I'd say now it's gone down to a low risk. Now, the good thing about Sean Darcy and this year is his flex position, because let's move over here. Now, if we go over here, all right, we go to St Kilda. Now, he hasn't been named yet, okay? But there is another player in St Kilda that needs to be named in here, and it hasn't come up yet. He's going to get a game, I think. And we're going to pop him in here. So what's going to happen is you're going to have 3 ruckmen, all right? Plus a spare ruckman that's playing it, who may average around about 80 to 90. If for some reason Darcy or De Koning, they get injured, and usually their injuries might go 1 or 2 weeks, okay? You can replace them with your rookie here, who will play, okay? Now, it's not going to be Dodson. I forget the boy's name, but he will be playing, but it just hasn't been put in the system yet. So you can always replace him for a week or two. You'll get your 80s, all right? It's not as good, obviously, but it's better than nothing. And then you got Darcy on hold. But having Darcy is a weapon because of the fact that he can score 190s. There's not many players that can do that, okay? Sherry can't do that. Okay, let's have a look at Sherry. Okay, let's have a look. We're going to do his summary anyway, but if we go to Sherry, all right, that's not where I want to go. I want to go on this one. Okay, let's go to North Melbourne. Okay, let's go to Sherry. Now, Sherry is more of a consistent ruckman. Okay, had a massive year. As you can see, 1, 2, 3. The ruckman break after 4 years. On the 5th year, the ruckman just break out. Okay, now Sherry, 2024. Okay, he can go 180s. You can see here, he's got a 150, 100. Sherry went nuts. If he didn't have Sherry last year, I mean, he started slow, but the signs were there. But then he just didn't stop. Especially after the bye rounds, he went crazy. So Sherry is another must-have. You got to have Sherry as well. So who do you get? I mean, you got De Koning, who can go on fire if there's no pit in it. You got Darcy that can go on fire, and they both offer huge value. And then how do you pass up on Sherry? And then how do you pass up on Gawn? Because if you go back over here, all right, then you go to Melbourne, and you go Gawn. Okay, if we go to Gawn, now Gawn, mind you, Gawn's last year was a good year. It was better because the previous 2 years Grundy was there. That's why the average was low. But Gawn has gone at 139 before. Okay, he's had a 128. So Gawn, but 124 last year. Gawn is another dangerous customer that you want to have. I mean, he can go 170, then he can go a 90, then a 120. So he can go nuts as well. But it's just as good as what Sherry can do. And it's just as good as what pretty much the other two can do, but the other two are cheaper. So you got De Koning and Darcy. So if there were 4 spots, I'd take Gawn as well. But at the moment, we've only got 3 spots. So for me, Darcy is a yes. Okay, and I've got him in my team as a low risk. Okay, a lot lower than last year. Last year was a high risk, and let's just see his pre-season, how it goes. And obviously, I'm doing this video in January. Like you can see here, January the 12th. There's 60 days to go before round one, okay? So we don't know yet what's going to happen in the next 2 months. But at the moment, the picture tells a story, okay? That's what they say. There's a saying, a picture says 1,000 words, okay? So I've locked them in. Anyway, that's all for today. Thank you for joining. And remember one thing. It's nice to be important, but it's important to be nice. Ciao for now.
That's all, folks.